Hello students, welcome to today's grammar module. Today we are going to study lesson 5 of your English Grammar Magic book. The name of the chapter is Past Tense Revision. Since it is a revision, all that we need to do is to revise the concepts that you have already studied in class 6 and 7. When we talk of the past tense, as we all know, it is an action that has already been completed in the past. So verbs that denote an action that has been completed in the past are referred to as simple past tense. Example, watch, past tense is watched. Eat, past tense is ate. Now there are three forms of simple past tense: the affirmative, the negative, and the interrogative. The affirmative is also known as the positive sentences. Example, I worked or they worked. The negative makes use of the word not. So, I didn't work, they didn't work. And the interrogative is the question form of the past tense. Example, did I work, did they work, etc. When we come to the uses of simple past tense, the simple past tense is used to express an action that took place at some point of time in the past. Example, we came to Delhi 2 years ago. An action that took place over a period of time in the past. She worked in that firm for 6 years. In both cases, the action has already been completed, but it is referring to the past. Continuing with the uses of simple past tense, when we refer to a past habit, words like always, never, often, sometimes are used. My uncle always came to the fair with us. A condition that has not occurred. If I knew this course was so easy, I would have joined for it. Means I have not actually joined for the course. Had I known that this course was so easy, I would have joined for it. So these are the usage of simple past tense. Now we come to the second form of the past tense, that is the past continuous tense. The tense which talks about an action that was going on at some point of time in the past. That is, at the time of speaking. The little children were playing around. The guests were dancing as the band was playing the latest music. In all these cases, you see the ing form. It denotes the continuous construction, and the word was or were denotes the past construction. Therefore, they form the past continuous tense. Again, in the three forms, affirmative, negative, and interrogative, he was working. The negative, she was not working. And interrogative, was she working? Remember to have the question mark in the interrogative construction. When do we use the past continuous tense? We use the past continuous tense when we talk about two actions that went on at the same point of time in the past. Example, I was sleeping while you were studying. So both the actions were happening at the same point of time. I was sleeping and you were studying. Also, an action that was repeated frequently in the past. When we were young, mother was always worrying about us. So that also is a habit that was repeated quite often. And the gradual development of an action. It was getting late and the crowd was becoming restless. So the intensity of it is progressing, and there also we use the past continuous tense. Moving on. In some cases, there is a confusion as to use the simple past or the past continuous. The simple past tense is used when we are talking about an action that is complete, as we already discussed. When the alarm rang, I woke up. The past continuous tense is used when we are talking about an action that was going on for some time. I was going home when it started raining. So I was going home means the action was gradually building up when it had started raining, right? Now, we use the simple past tense and the past continuous tense together in a sentence when we talk about an action that was going on when another action took place. Remember, earlier we discussed both actions happening at the same time. But now, we use the simple past tense and the past continuous tense when one action was going on and another took place. Grandmother was telling us a story when Birju walked into the room. So both actions are actually, you can say, following each other. The grandmother was telling a story and then Birju entered the room. Now please remember, the non-action verbs, the verbs that do not show any action, do not take the past continuous tense. So the correct usage will be, I thought I heard the sound of glass breaking. We don't say, I was thinking I heard the sound of glass breaking. It has to be in the simple past tense and not the past continuous tense. Remember, we are talking about those verbs which are not showing any action. Now the use of the simple past or the present perfect. Often we find situations where the usage of present perfect is required. We do this when the action is linked with the present. The action may have been completed, but it has significance in the present. Example, I have just cancelled the program. Simple past tense is used when action is not linked with the present. We ate at the Taj Hotel when we visited Goa. So when we had gone to Goa, that time we ate at the Taj Hotel. So that's done. But I have just cancelled the program means right now. I have just finished cancelling the program. So that is why the use of the present perfect. I have just cancelled. That is present perfect tense. Now coming to the third form, the past perfect tense. Now it is formed by using the word had. The present perfect uses the word have, right? So past perfect tense uses the word had with the past participle of the verb. The children had cleaned up the whole house. They had put back all the toys in the cupboard. In both the cases, you are seeing the construction had along with the past participle of the verb. Now coming to the forms of the past perfect tense, again the same three classifications: affirmative, negative and interrogative. She had worked, she had not worked, and had she worked. As and when you use these, you will be familiar with the construction of sentences. Now coming to the uses of past perfect tense. When we are talking about an action in the past which was completed before a particular point of time in the past. Example, the crowd had entered the auditorium before 6 p.m. So we have a time reference given before which the crowd had already entered the auditorium. When we use verbs like hope, expect, think, mean, suppose and want to suggest that an unexpected action did not take place. They had hoped to watch the movie today. In reality, it means that they have not watched the movie. They had hopes, but they have not watched it. So when an unexpected action did not take place, and there are certain verbs with which we use the past perfect tense. Now coming to the fourth and the final form of the past tense, that is the past perfect continuous tense. It is used when we are talking about an action that began before a definite moment in the past, it continued up to that moment and was still in progress at that moment of narration. Example, the children had been playing all afternoon. They had started playing, they were continued to play and were still playing when the statement was made. So an action that began before a certain moment, it continued up to that moment and was still in progress. So that is it. The 4 forms of past perfect continuous tense. You have 3 forms as usual: the affirmative, the negative, and the interrogative. He had been working. Had is the perfect. The been working takes care of the continuous. So he had been working in the affirmative. He had not been working in the negative. Had he been working in the interrogative. So these are the 3 forms in all the 4 forms of past tense. So this was the concept of past tense that was revised. Kindly go through your grammar magic book in detail with the given examples. Watch the video, go through the slides carefully and understand the 4 forms of past tense. Then attempt the exercises on your own with a pencil, and the solutions to all the exercises are given in the following slides. I request you to attempt all the exercises and then cross-check with the solutions given in the following slides and make the necessary corrections. For your information, exercises B and C are omit. I repeat, exercise B and C are omit. Clear? I hope the concept of past tense has been thoroughly explained to you. Thank you, students. I hope the solutions are clear to you. Thank you, students.